Greetings, Happy New Year to all. I'm Sam Samuel from Edward Ashdale, one of the directors here. We're here today to talk about property management and investment in property. First of all, you need to consider how you're going to finance the property. Usually, lenders will ask for 25% or 40% deposit. You should speak to a decent independent mortgage advisor or your local bank about sourcing the best possible deal for you. You need to think about where you're going to buy a property. Think about further afield if you need to. There's plenty of opportunities, not necessarily in an area that you may know, but there's plenty of opportunities outside of areas you may be comfortable with that might be more beneficial. You need to think about your target market. The quality of tenant is very important. Don't scrimp on tenants' checks or agents' fees, and don't be too ambitious with the property that you're looking to buy. When I say ambitious, I mean don't expect too high a rent. Sometimes a property will have its yield based on other properties in the area, so always look at comparable pricing. You can never beat the market sets the price. Another thing to consider when you're buying your property is which agent to use. If you choose to use an agent, you can of course look to rent your property privately, but there's many pitfalls. You'd need to understand fully the legal implications of renting your property. So you're probably more assured to use an agent who is going to guide you through all the potential pitfalls, but of course you need to look at the costs surrounding that. Typically, an agent will charge you 7 to 10% of the rental income over the year. So this should be considered, and there may be other sundries, so ensure that you look at the small print very closely. In relation to property maintenance, with your investment, you should ensure that the property's let at a very good condition from the outset. The sort of problems that you're likely to face with the maintenance, most common problems faced by landlords, are plumbing issues, problems with domestic appliances and drainage. They are the most common issues faced by tenants, so it's good to check that these things are all in good condition and good order from the outset. Once a tenant reports a problem, you should be efficient in dealing with this. This will ensure that the tenant has confidence in the services that you provide and maintains a strong relationship between you both. Especially with big blocks, tenants may sometimes face problems from neighbours, or the tenants themselves may be inflicting nuisance behaviour on another tenant. There are laws that set out parameters for dealing with this, namely through the council, through your local council. So if you do suffer nuisance behaviour, then you would call the local council and get their assistance. Normally the nuisance is considered to be intolerable outside the hours of 10:30 in the evening and 8 o'clock in the morning. So if a problem occurs during these times, you would contact the council and ask for them to deal with it. The remedies usually are in the form of an abatement notice that's served on the tenants. But generally nuisance behaviour exists amongst big blocks where people are living in a close proximity to each other. Another common problem faced by landlords is rent arrears, which is probably as common as maintenance. The best of tenants sometimes find themselves falling into hardship. They may have a professional career, that business may not be doing well, and their income may stop through loss of employment. It's important for us as agents and landlords to act responsibly and act quickly once a tenant falls into this situation. Usually we pick up the phone, speak to the tenant, find out if there's any solutions for them paying the rent, or if there's any immediate prospect of employment. If the situation continues, then we would need to take action. That action could be by way of a Section 8 notice, which is a 2 weeks notice to the tenant of our intention to get an order for either the rent to be paid and possession. We also have other options available to us, and that might be by way of a Section 21, which would guarantee possession provided the other tenancy parts are in order, such as deposit protection and that there's no outstanding maintenance on the property. As you would have heard, these problems could be potentially stressful. I can imagine that you're looking at it now thinking, all these issues, they could happen to me. That's not the case. These sort of problems suffered by landlords and agents are actually quite minimal if you get the job done right from the outset. However, if you are perturbed about these issues and you are worried about them, but you wish to buy a property to let, then you should look at speaking to a good professional managing agent who's going to take all these issues away from you. They're going to be the ones receiving the calls. They're going to be ones managing the tenancy related issues, dealing with repairs outside of normal working hours, the hours that are unsociable. We've been known to take calls at 10:30, 11, 2 o'clock in the morning when perhaps a pipe's burst. A managing agent will look after all those things for you. So don't be that perturbed about purchasing a property. Remember, these problems are minimal. So that's it in a nutshell. Those are some of the problems that can be faced by landlords. You can, of course, contact us and we'll be able to look after a lot of those issues for you, take the pressure away, take the heat out of the situation so you can enjoy your life nice and quietly. You can contact us on 0208 466 8445.